Hi there. Thanks for joining me today as I show you how I make my ham, caramelized onion, and Gruyere quiches. These are one of my favorite things, and for some reason, quiche has got like a bad rap, like they're really hard to make, but these are super simple, and I'm going to walk you through it every step of the way. These are excellent options for a light lunch or dinner, or maybe even a special brunch menu. The caramelized onions get really sweet and almost creamy, and they pair up really well with the smoky ham, the nutty Gruyere cheese, and the bright verdant flavors of the fresh thyme. We have lots of protein here, and so it'll keep your blood sugar level, but afterwards you won't feel like you've had a really heavy meal. So these are a great option. Now I also want to mention that they can easily be made ahead of time and reheated to serve. All right, let's get started. Here are the ingredients you'll need. You can refer back to this at the end, or you can visit the website and print out a recipe to take with you to the grocery store. Let's get started with our step-by-step. We're going to make this really easy on ourselves by using a roll-out pie crust. Roll out your pie crust on a lightly floured surface. For the pattern, I'm going to choose a bowl that's a little bigger than my tart pans. My tart pans are about 3 inches at the narrowest part, so I'm going to use like probably about a 5-inch bowl. I'm going to just cut and press the circles out of my dough with that bowl and press the pie dough into the tart pans. Cut off any excess of the dough so that the top is flush with the pans. Let your dough come to room temperature before you're baking it so it won't shrink. Now, go ahead and prick the bottom of the dough with a fork several times to keep it from bubbling up. Put all of the pie shells on a baking sheet and bake the empty shells at 400 degrees for about 9 or 10 minutes. I wanted them set, but I only wanted a little bit of color on them. Now, just let those cool on the side. While that's happening, let's move on to our onions. This probably takes the longest. Saute your onions in some butter, low and slow until they get really nice and caramelized. This will probably take you about 20 to 25 minutes. Now you could also do this ahead of time and caramelize your onions and then just store them in the refrigerator until you're ready to use them. Now here are the onions after they've already caramelized. You can see how brown and golden and creamy they are. The starches in the onions turn to sugar and they're just so delicious like this. Here are the other ingredients we're going to need. We're going to chop our ham into little small pieces. We're going to grate up our cheese, and then we're going to make our egg batter. So here we have 1/4 cup of milk, 1/4 cup of evaporated milk, a tablespoon of fresh thyme from the garden, 1/4 teaspoon of dried mustard, 3 large eggs, 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Here we go with our assembly. We are already ready for this. Add a big pinch of cheese to the bottom of each of the pastries, probably a good tablespoon or so. Now add a big pinch of ham. I don't even think I really measured this. You'll see it, you'll know. Add some of those caramelized onions. They're just so beautiful in here. Actually, that's probably my favorite part. And then label some of the egg mixture right over the tart. You can see all the pretty thyme in there. I used a 1/2 ounce ladle and probably added almost 2 to each of them. So about 1 ounce to each of these small tarts, right to the filling. Now, these guys are ready to be baked. All right, we're going to bake these at 350 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes. At this point, I'm going to insert a clean knife right into the center, and when it comes out clean, I'll know it's ready. You don't want too much color on the eggs, and brown eggs are just kind of yucky. So when it comes out clean, they're ready. Let each of them rest for about 5 minutes or so before you cut into them. These guys are like molten lava right now, and you will blister your mouth if you bite into one, so let them cool just for a little bit. After about 5 minutes, you can remove them from the tart pans, and then you can store them in the fridge later, or you can eat them warm. They're really hard to resist when they first come out though. They do heat up really nicely in the toaster oven, and I suspect a regular oven would work really well too. And these are just perfect with a side salad or something for a beautiful brunch, but they're going to be hard for you not to just dig into. I hope you'll try this recipe, and I hope you'll like it as much as my family has. Thanks for watching. come back again.